Okay, as many of you have noticed by now, this is a pretty difficult assignment. It's different. It's probably a lot different than what you've done in high school, and certainly different than what we did in Unit 1, all right? And this is the kind of writing that's a lot more valued in the academy, so to speak, and a lot more valued in business writing, professional writing, that kind of thing. Any place where you're really going to be writing in your job, this is the kind of writing that you're going to be doing, where basically you look at something, break it apart, do a little bit of research to find out what some of the elements mean, okay, and then put it back together in a form that you can pass on to somebody else. Say, hey, this is what all this means. I've done all this work for you. This is what this means. And I'm not talking about hidden meaning. Just because I pick a literature piece, this has nothing to do with hidden meaning, and I think I mentioned this elsewhere, okay. What this is about looking at the theory. Everything as I said earlier has theory, all right. It's not just literary theory. Every aspect of a professional business life, job market, whatever, even parenting, okay, has theory behind it. Cooking has theory behind it, all right. So I'm introducing you to theory. I'm introducing you to a little bit of research, and then I'm introducing you to this concept of looking at a text, pulling it apart, bringing it back together, supporting the position that you take about it, okay. So I get a lot of questions by now. I'm so confused. I don't know where to start, that kind of thing. I understand that, all right. But once again, the learning module here is very carefully laid out, right? And one of the first things you do is, it's a class, you get involved in discussions about these issues. So when you sit down to write your essay, if you spend some time going back into the discussion forums and, pick 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 responses, take a look at them. Look at some responses that look pretty good, pretty much in depth, and say, hey, what are my fellow students saying about this? All right, and then go ahead and look and see what I've said about it. Okay, I almost always have made an audio file for you to listen to about halfway through the week. So hunt that up, look for that, and listen to what I've said. So this is typical classroom discussion. This is typical brainstorming. You do this in the marketplace too. You do this in your job, in your professional life. You do it at home among your family. You do some brainstorming. You talk about issues. So that's what the discussions do. So start there. See what the other students are saying about these issues that are going to come up in this essay. Okay. Then make sure you do the research. Go to item 3.3 in the learning module and take a look at Introduction to Library Databases. I walk you right through the kind of research I want you to do for this. It's not very intense, but once again, this is a skill you're going to use very heavily in the next unit, so that's why I've introduced it here. So start with the discussions, then go back and look at the research. Make sure you've read all the items, listen to all the lectures in item 3, okay? Don't skip over anything in the learning module. Then go look at... You're already looking at item 7.3, writing analysis. Great. Move on to item 7.4, the second part of this lecture. I have to keep the files small. Very important. Then go back and take a look at the rubric for this assignment. Take a look at item 6.1. Rubrics are teaching and learning tools, all right? They're not just grading tools. They help show you what the goals are for this essay, what you need to be really accomplishing, right, in order to write a good essay. And these goals carry over from project to project. The goals get more complex often, so the rubrics change, all right? But consider the rubric a learning tool, all right, where I'm trying to teach you something about what a good essay looks like. So make sure you study the rubric and you understand it, so you understand how to get as many points as possible on this essay. It's always critical that you turn in your best work in college. You just have to do this, because it's the same thing in your professional life. You don't get second chances, okay, when you're doing your writing. You've got to turn in your best work possible, so you have to learn how to do that, okay? So, I have item 7.1, that's the criteria, the specific criteria for this essay. Item 7.2 is out of your textbook, how to get started. Then there are these 2 lectures, items 7.3 and 7.4. And then there's item 7.5, which is a little confusing, okay? I provided a model textual analysis, and I've already got a couple of emails saying, oh, I thought we had to write about Falkner. Now I see you're asking us to write about some advertising. That's not true. It's a model, okay? It's not a replica. All right, it's not the real thing. So what I've done is I've shown you what a good essay would look like, but you've got to adapt that to the Falkner story. Okay, I'm not going to show you a Falkner essay because I think the temptation is just too strong to imitate it. Okay, I don't want you doing that. I want you doing this work on your own. Okay, so it's just a model. So you look at what a good essay looks like, and then you apply it to the theory and the research and the Falkner text, and then you write your own essay. Okay, so if you just basically go carefully through the learning module, and make sure you pay attention to everything. And by the way, I can look at the tracking report. I can tell when some of you are paying better attention than others, all right? So all the materials here, and I say this all the time, that if you'll do the work, you'll get the grade. If you'll do the work, you'll understand this assignment. It's laid out in order for you, okay? So to reemphasize, make sure you look at the rubric. Make sure you look at item 7.2, getting started. Make sure you look at 7.3, 7.4, writing the analysis. All right, that's the second little lecture here. Get some more detail about actual writing it. take a look at the model, which is not what I expect you to turn in. The model's about advertising. You're going to turn in something about the Falkner short story, all right? And then, of course, don't forget you turn this into 2 places. I'm sure I say this several times. All right, 2, all right, item 7.6 and 7.7. Those 2 spots. Make sure you do that. And, of course, don't forget the writing memo. So please go ahead and listen to the second lecture. I know some of it's repetitive, but I get a little bit more into the theory and a little bit more how to actually get started. So please move on to the second lecture now.